Again, I defer you to the Department of Justice for individuals that they are looking at or individual cases. But let's be clear about what this judge did. She obstructed federal law enforcement who were looking for an illegal alien in her courthouse. She showed that illegal alien the door to evade law enforcement officials. That is a clear-cut case of obstruction. You don't have to be a lawyer to understand that. And so anyone who is breaking the law or obstructing federal law enforcement officials from doing their jobs is putting themselves at risk of being prosecuted. Absolutely.
That was not unclear. They're saying, well, anybody who breaks the law and obstructs us, yeah, we'd go after them. But here's the thing. The whole point about the Supreme Court and judicial review is they interpret and determine what the law is. That's the whole point. The whole point is the Supreme Court says, yeah, you're acting this way and you're claiming it's legal, but it's actually not legal. Like when they said in a 9-0 ruling that you have to facilitate the return of Kilmar Abrego Garcia, which they totally and completely blew the fuck off. So basically, they're setting it up like by definition, they're saying if they rule against us, that's them getting in our way and they're breaking the law. Remember this? He came out and said, only I and the Attorney General get to determine what the law is in this country. That is a massive shot across the bow against the entire judicial branch in this country and the whole concept of checks and balances. That's what that is. Here's the other thing. You think they didn't arrest this judge to have a chilling effect on purpose? The whole point of doing this is to say, hey, any other judge, if you're thinking of perhaps ruling against us, maybe think again. Maybe that's not such a good idea for you to do that. Maybe think again. It has a chilling effect. So now a judge can't just sit there and do their job correctly and not worry about the fallout. Now they have to worry about political consequences of ruling against the regime. And so are judges going to have the backbone and the spine to say, no, this ruling is correct and you guys are wrong and you're breaking the law? Or are they going to try to save their asses? Well, there's going to be some percentage probably that's like, I don't really want much trouble right now. I'll rubber stamp everything. Right? And the Supreme Court, I mean, guys, who opened up the door for Trump to be this rabid fascist? It was the Supreme Court. And John Roberts, remember, he said anything that is part of your official duties, or like you think it's your official duties, well, that's legal. That can't be criminal for the president to do that. Well, obviously, you just gave him a massive loophole where Trump's going to say no matter what, this is part of my official duties. In fact, they could say, yeah, we didn't listen to your 9-0 Supreme Court ruling to facilitate the return of Kilmar Abrego Garcia, but that's because this is part of my official duties. You know, I declared emergency powers, said we're at war. This guy, I've determined, is one of those people at war with us. Therefore, you're trying to undermine the executive branch, and I'm not going to stand for it. So my official ruling, as part of my official duties, is to say, you're wrong. You're 9-0 against me. I'm not going to listen. I would pay anything to be a fucking fly on the wall in the Supreme Court. As soon as Trump arrested the judge, as soon as Trump came out and basically admitted he's blowing off a 9-0 Supreme Court ruling, do you have any? I guarantee you, Sonia Sotomayor and Elena Kagan, probably even like Amy Coney Barrett, perhaps. I guarantee you, they had choice fucking words for John Roberts. You dumb son of a bitch. Look what you opened up the door for. Look what you did. You are at least partly responsible for this guy with his fascist rampage and his assault on the rule of law and the Constitution. You did that. Because John Roberts clearly couldn't wrap his mind around a scenario where there's a U.S. president who's not acting in good faith, right? That's how he, any American president, of course, is going to act in good faith and is going to listen to our rulings, and they're not going to go so far above and beyond that they're going to do things that are wildly illegal, right? Well, here we are. Now they got their middle finger up to you saying, fuck your 9-0 ruling. We're not even going to try to get Kilmar back. Arresting judges. Jesus Christ, man. Again, man, I know I say it all the time, but we're just 100 days in. In 100 days, look how much damage they've done. How much worse do you think it's going to get? Hey y'all, do me a favor and like and subscribe. It helps out big time in the algorithm. Click the bell as well for notifications when videos drop, and watch that video on screen right now. You know you want to.